Hello and welcome to the DME podcast, brought to you by DME, the podcast booking platform. Whether you're a podcaster or an aspiring guest, the DME app is the perfect platform for you to get booked and manage your podcast bookings. I'm your host, Sukh Hayre, the founder of DME, and on this podcast we'll be discussing the latest news and views in tech, the ins and outs of entrepreneurship, and even dipping our toes into the adrenaline-filled world of mixed martial arts. Today's guest is someone you've probably seen pop up on your social media feed if you're even remotely interested in food. I'm speaking with Matt, the founder of Food Review Club. What started as a simple idea, filming honest food reviews on his phone, has grown into one of the UK's biggest food review platforms, with millions of followers across TikTok, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. In this episode, we talk about how Matt built Food Review Club from scratch, the surprising impact his videos have on local businesses, why the UK hospitality sector is under huge pressure right now, and why he thinks Birmingham might just be the best food city in the country. And I didn't have to prompt him, I swear. We also get into social media algorithms, building a digital business, and even slightly unexpected debate on the perfect biscuit for dunking in a cup of tea. So let's get into this. This is Matt from Food Review Club. Matt, Food Review Club, welcome to the DME podcast.
Thank you for having me, my friend. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm a bit of a fanboy at the minute because I've been watching your videos. I only discovered you maybe 12, 18 months ago, and you come across my TikTok feed on a very regular basis, and I enjoy your videos immensely. I'm like, oh, I need to try that, but naturally, I never do.
Thank you very much for watching the content. It means the world to me. We've been around for a while now. It's funny when different people pick us up on different platforms and different stages. We've been going for 7 or 8 years, so.
Yeah, well,
You're quite new to the party.
Very new to the party and nowhere near your level, but it's not really my intention. I don't want to have my face out there unlike you, so hence this is audio only. All right, so for our listeners who may not know your story, Matt, why don't you give us a bit of a background into how you ended up with kind of one of the leading food review channels in the UK?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always absolutely adored food. And I think I've always been very analytical about food as well. If I'm in a really almost OCD way, if I was eating a pack of crisps, for example, I would split the big ones from the little ones. I would sort of value which crisp I felt was more important than the little one. I'd eat the little ones first and I'd save the big ones to the end. Even as a child, it was a strange method and thought process around food. And even when my nan would cook me dinner, I would be reviewing it almost without even knowing what I was doing at the time as a child. Later in life, I'll fast forward a little bit, later in life, I had a digital marketing agency, which I loved, being in and around social media as a breakout scene, which it was a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago this was. I loved it. And we started making videos for our agency, trying to attract new custom, get our name out there in the local area and in the community, and it became very apparent that video at the time was really popping off. People were just consuming large amounts of video off YouTube, like on the social feed, which up to that point was statuses, it was jokes, it was pictures. And I remember one night watching Dave Portnoy from Barstool, sorry. And I think I must have watched about 30 of his pizza reviews in one sitting.
Yeah.
I quickly realized not only did I like the format, I quickly realized he had my attention, which is a currency that I understood, particularly working in digital marketing. And I then thought about, wow, wouldn't it be great if someone in the UK was doing that, because he only does pizzas in New York.
Yeah.
And I thought, in the UK, we have got so many fantastic foods and cultures that you could talk to people about. If I asked you what your favorite fish and chip shop is, you'd swear blind you knew the best one, maybe, or the best curry house, or the best fried chicken. You know exactly where to go, and you'd fight someone who disagreed you on it. Like, everyone's so opinionated in England about food. But it got my brain ticking, and I did a couple of reviews. It was also an interesting sort of sub storyline that everyone thought that you needed. Working in digital marketing in the business space, everyone thought you needed big finance to start a business. And I made a point of it. This is something I've never spoken about. I went onto Canva and made the original logo. I just did some terrible sort of cover art for the channel and just started it, proving that if you had one of these in your pocket, you could start something at that stage, and you still can. There's the barrier to entry in this game is very low. So I sort of went on this crusade, and very quickly the format kind of worked. We went to a couple of local favorites where I live, and it of course sparked opinion. And the rest is history.
So, I mean, great backstory. So I didn't actually know you in the digital marketing game, so it kind of makes sense a little bit in terms of right how you've managed to kind of grow such a fantastic channel, and the production quality is always looks really, really good from what I see anyway. I'm a novice. So when did it go from kind of that little bit of a passionate project into an actual viable business? How long was that transition, or was it an immediate game plan from the start?
Great question. I think in my head, I was always so at the time I still am very ambitious in terms of like thinking about things that I could do. And, you know, I quickly realized that with the attention and the numbers we're building up, my brain, even after one review, I was thinking how I could turn this into a multi-million-pound idea, and the rest of it, you know, how things go when you start to get excited about something, you get a bit eager. But the real difference came when I just stopped thinking about that, and I just realized how much I actually loved creating content. And that was a big breakthrough moment. I just love it. I feel like I feel like I was a bird that was for the first time able to fly. And that sounds like a really cliche thing to say, but I didn't know that I had wings until that point. And it was just, my flight at the beginning was pretty atrocious. I was crashing into everything, but I just enjoyed it. I was smiling. It made me feel alive. And of course, you get a bit of attention, which is nice, and you get a bit of self-validation, which if you're a bit insecure, it's nice. Being in social media is good for that on the right day. I just loved it. And then you start meeting people on the way, and then you start having some success stories. And I thought, you know what, this is really something I wanted to do. So it quickly became apparent that this is something I could pursue. And if you pursue anything in the right way, there's probably a business there, particularly if you enjoy it.
Yeah. Awesome. So I mean, obviously you've got fantastic success with the channel now, and it's a bit of a media empire, isn't it? I mean, I just kind of looked up your numbers. I think just on YouTube alone, you've got what 45 million views or something like that. And God knows what it's like across the total platform. I'm guessing you know the numbers, right?
Yeah, we've got 1 million followers on Facebook, which is our original platform. We've got 960 something on TikTok. Instagram's at 300, and our YouTube account is at maybe 170,000 subs. So we've got quite a varied audience across them all, but it's quite diverse, and it's been a lot of fun.
So just for my own curiosity now, right? Wasn't one of the planned questions, but how do you find the engagement across the different platforms, and how much effort is it to kind of create the same content and tailor that content for the different platforms and the different consumption methods? Obviously, YouTube's a bit more long form. I'm guessing Facebook probably a bit more long form as well. But obviously, TikTok is very viral, a couple of minutes, and people scroll past. How do you have to cater your content to kind of validate yourself against all those platforms?
So each platform is a different audience, is a different room of people. So you need to cater very differently for them all. And unless you've got a massive team, that can be very challenging. Obviously, we've only got a limited set of hands at Food Review Club as a team. So some of the platforms you can post long form, like Facebook, you can post the same video you post on YouTube there, and I think people consume the content nicely on Facebook. You can also, the longer the videos are, sometimes you can earn more from advertising revenue, which is important from a business standpoint. So Facebook and YouTube, you can post slightly longer, but TikTok and Instagram, much shorter. So we try and post those sub 3 minute clips on there, which get you into the real algorithm on Instagram and TikTok as well. But you can post longer on TikTok, but I think people's attention spans on certain platforms are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
When you make one video, you have to chop it up a few times. There's also experimenting with titles, thumbnails, and sometimes you'll post something you think was really good and doesn't do well. You might have uploaded it on the wrong day at the wrong time with the wrong caption. And if TikTok or Instagram doesn't like it, they're going to bottleneck it, and it probably doesn't perform how you want it to perform. So you have to re-edit it again, maybe, and try again.
Okay, so I wasn't aware of all that process. I mean, I'm just thinking as a content creator, you both are right. There's 4 or 5 platforms I need to do for these ones. If a new one comes along, you're probably thinking, "Oh no."
It's very difficult to be on everything at the same time. We struggle with that. But luckily on Instagram, you can cross post to Facebook, and we've got the longer videos going out on Facebook, which gets scheduled once a week. So we're doing our best.
Right, sorry, that was me just my brain just triggering and going, "Oh, I wonder how it works."
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Ask away.
So right, okay. So obviously we know that obviously as you've grown over the years, you kind of grown that wider audience, and you've obviously have quite an impact on the businesses that you review, and the restaurants and the food eateries, etc. Um, do you ever expect that level of influence really on that your videos could have on an actual business? I'm guessing you may be, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you were probably thinking on the generating the content and actually promoting the content. Did you ever think about the impact that you could have on the actual businesses that you were reviewing?
Not initially, but it became apparent very quickly that people would turn out in vast numbers. We had a few very early videos, one where I live locally, which was the big indicator for me, answering your question, was a place called Chili Bite, and they did like a chicken tikka naan wrap with a real nice naan bread, and they put all the meat in there, some doner meat, some chicken in there, and we did a great video. It was delicious. There's some beautiful sauce on there, and we did a fun video, like nearly in the dark after work. We filmed it, and he phoned me up the next day. This is 7.5 years ago, by the way. He phoned me up saying, "Matt, this is like the day after." When he opened, the phone was ringing like crazy, and people were coming from Northampton, coming from Birmingham. They'd seen the video on Facebook, and they, like, I think 40 or 50 people came, especially after seeing the video, and they asked for the exact thing that I had in the video. So he knew they were new customers. He'd never seen them before, and he phoned me up and said, "Matt, this is crazy." And I think that went on for about 2 weeks. That was the first time. It's super exciting to think that people would listen to what you're saying and want to go and try something with their family or their missus on a date night or something. But we've had some crazy in more recent times. We've had, shop owners will send me a voice note crying their eyes out saying, "You've changed my life." We've turned businesses on their head. But I always say they did that. We were just the lucky people there with the camera on the right day. They got to witness some magic. We're the lucky ones. They did it for themselves, really. That opportunity would have come around with someone with a camera, and we're just the lucky ones that get to document that for them. It is a blessing and a curse, actually, because sometimes a shop can get too busy and everyone hates you for it because there's now queues at their favorite sandwich shop, which there never were.
I mean, yeah, obviously there's quite a responsibility that must come with that, but obviously there's also the responsibility on the other side of the equation. If there is a viable business, but you may go along and you may not actually like it, or maybe slightly, it's not as positive as
difficult.
Yeah. So how do you kind of balance that in terms of the responsibility of having a positive review? Obviously that's great, and you can boost a business, but obviously there's also you have to maintain your own integrity in terms of the review. You have to be honest, but you feel probably in the back of your mind, is it also a question of actually, I don't want to say anything too harsh because look, he's a nice guy, or he's a nice lady, and maybe it's just not a good day.
Yeah, it's a really tough thing to talk about because you have to be honest always. You're there to do a review, but as your audience grows, so does your responsibility to be kind. And I think we've always tried, as a sort of a mission statement, to find the good spots, to showcase good people and great food. But you know what it's like. You'll pull over sometimes, go, "Oh, that looks cool. Let's just go and give this a go," on the hope that you might find something great. And we have been served some horrendous food over the years, and maybe I've been a bit overly harsh at points, but certainly in this day and age, we have got quite a large audience. You need to try and be respectful. And if you say you don't like something, say why you don't like it. Remind everyone that it is just your opinion. When I'm not food god, the way I like my fish and chips, you might actually, Matt, I quite like it a bit more like that, and that's absolutely fine, as long as you're not being rude or disrespectful about the shop, the food. Sometimes you'll say something a little bit close to the mark if you think something's disgusting, but you can be a little bit tongue in cheek. But on the whole, we try and keep it respectful because there is a responsibility. This is a family business. They might have had just a difficult day. They might have made a mistake. Don't we all? but it is the brutal, harsh truth of it. And the worst thing is that the negative videos do a lot better than the positive videos, which is a shame. And you see a lot of creators out there that know that, enjoy that, and they will go around largely on the other side of the coin. Look, maybe not looking for the bad ones, but they're certainly not afraid to throw food on the floor, spit it out their mouth, say some pretty vulgar stuff about the establishment. We're not in that camp, thankfully.
Yeah, I didn't actually realize that the negative ones would actually generate more views, but more engagement.
It's a staggering difference.
It probably kind of speaks to kind of the wider social media world, doesn't it? It's
I think so.
Yeah, so obviously negativity sells, right?
The more crazy and vulgar you are, particularly if you're earning ad revenue, the more money you're going to make. More controversial you are, the more money you're going to make. It's a very slippery slope, and it's a trap. You can get caught in these traps, and you start thinking this is the way forward. And I've said this from the beginning. I think positivity, long term, is the ROI. Like, go win the championship. Yeah, you might win a half a game of football with some sort of negativity or drama, but I don't think that's the long term play. I always think that being remembered for being a good guy and trying to do the best is a smart thing to do. Be honest, be truthful, but at the same time, be kind as well.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of makes me think a little bit back to, obviously, I've watched mainly YouTube for many years now, and you kind of see creators at some point, and they go through this arc in terms of when they're building, when they've kind of found an audience, and they're at the peak of their powers for 12, 18 months, wherever it may be, and then they kind of have to maintain it, and then it drifts, and the content drifts a little bit, and the personality drifts a little bit, and then it either goes into a different direction, or they end up crashing down, and that spike in popularity it can be as quick to go up as it can to come down. But if you play it right, I'm guessing there's content creators who are creators as kids and children. Like, I'm thinking like kind of Jake and Logan Paul, for example, who are making kind of content as young teenagers and causing a bit of controversy, but they've grown themselves to be something very different.
Yeah. I think my camera stopped working, by the way. Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it.
It's bugged out.
So obviously you've been around the UK, kind of probably into every corner of these isles, even abroad. I think on the podcast we kind of like to talk about kind of business on a macro scale, and kind of politics and current affairs too. You must have seen some varying states over the hospitality sector and the food businesses across the UK. How do you kind of view those changes that you've seen even in the last 9 or 10 years that you've just been making content?
It's a sorry state of affairs, to be honest. From the people that we're lucky enough to speak to, it's almost impossible, so I hear, I'm not, to survive. It's a tough business, and I think a lot of the shopkeepers and restaurateurs and publicans feel like the government almost and policy is designed for them to fail right now. I don't know the exact numbers. You're probably not talking to the right guy, but it just feels like it's a really, really difficult time for everyone in the business as produce prices going up. I was watching a video this morning, a guy in a fish and chip shop said a box of cod used to be £100, and like today's price, when the video was 330. So he said that it would work out that he would have to sell his fish and chips for £25 a portion. That it's just like, what's he supposed to do? People are not going to go and buy the product. Fish and chips used to be a cheap, fun, family-friendly takeaway, and it's now like you'd have to think about going for one, because it's going to be 100 quid for a family of 4 by the time you got your drinks and your curry sauced. So they're looking at different types of fish now and all sorts, but it's I think there's been some positive, there's been a positive response from some of the more high profile chefs. I know Tom Kerridge, for example, has done a great job actually outlining the numbers to make everyone realize just how difficult it is.
It was a business rate hike, wasn't it?
It was all of the profit has been completely stripped out of the business. So you're effectively working for free.
Yeah.
And people need to remember the hospitality industry is the most unsociable hours hot, smelly conditions in those kitchens. It's difficult work. It's a service-based business where you're being judged left, right, and centre by idiot reviewers like me and everyone on Trustpilot and TripAdvisor or whatever it's called. People are leaving 1-star reviews if their chips are a minute late. You know, it's a thankless business.
Yeah.
And for what? You know, and these businesses are the ones that we all remember the most. You know, when you go out for a great meal with someone or a loved one or a date or go for a drink, these are the best times to be alive. You go out and get that special meal. And I think without the industry, we're in a big spot of bother.
I think it's I don't want to sound too conspiratorial, but it's a bit of an attack on culture as well.
It really is.
We were kids. I'm talking very young. Obviously, used to live in an extended family household with parents and uncles, etc., and grandparents. And I used to think it was like a Brummie, an Indian Brummie thing, whereby it was Friday evenings. Dad and uncles would get fish and chips for everybody, and get a Bollywood film for
Look at you now. You're smiling now. The thought of that makes you smile. Like in the literally remembering your dad going out and you all sitting around as a family, the best times. Like, do you know what I mean?
It was a cultural thing because like everyone used to get paid in the little brown envelopes on a Friday, right? The pockets were lush, right? We're treating the family to fish and chips, and my dad and my uncles is right. We're treating you to fish and chips. And we're going out to the pub, and I thought that was the British Asian cultural thing, maybe. But then grow up and you speak to other people. Well, yeah, we do fish and chips Fridays as well. Yeah. I think it's a British thing, it's a cultural thing, and as those kind of erode, and even the trips to the pub on a Sunday for a lunch or whatever it may be, they're communal, and that's what builds culture. And as kind of the industry is kind of taking a hit from policies or whatever other factors are kind of contributing to that, it's an attack on the culture as well. I think it kind of makes us a little bit less British in a way. It's taken away what we used to be.
I really struggled to think why, because like you're saying, it's this restaurants, pubs, these they almost like community places. They're great, they really are. And one other thing that I don't think anyone's talking about is that anyone that does want to have a career in that sector is usually a really incredible person, that the want to provide for other people like they do, like a chef that wants to cook his best food to give to you, or a publican that wants to invite you in and make you feel safe in these environments. They're the best people, the people that want to provide, they want to give, they want to service you with a great time and pick your spirits up, give your family some memories. They're good people. They're nice people, and they're people that we should be cherishing. They're people that we should be supporting and backing and getting behind. Not the people that we should be stinging with crazy hikes in their rates. You know, we should be protecting these people.
So if you were to advise the government in a similar way to how Tom Courage would, if they called Matt up and said, Matt, what can we change to improve the situation in the high street or the hospitality sector? Is there any couple of bits of advice that you would like to give them?
Questions like that would scare me a little bit, because I'm probably not the right person to ask. I've got a basic opinion. I wish I knew more, but I'm so invested in what I'm doing. I probably haven't got the right answer. I don't know. I'll probably call someone like you, my friend, and get some proper advice. But I just would like them to, you know, maybe visit the VAT at the moment, because that's I would see as an obvious quick win. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. There's some smarter people in the world than me, and I hope they could come together and understand just how detrimental these policies and things are to such special people in our communities. Yeah. And without them, the country would look a very different place, you know? I just think it's really important, but I don't have the answers, unfortunately. I wouldn't know what to suggest.
No, that's fine. I mean, yeah, we all have opinions, though, right? So we can all make them. So on to slightly more positive notes. So obviously, still assuming that you're on the upward trajectory of your internet fame as a content creator. Where do you see Food Review Club in 5 years? I think I referred a little bit earlier to content creators go through that life cycle, and you see the Paul brothers kind of diversify into all sorts of other realms. Is that something you see for yourself, or are you strictly going down the we're going to review food and then we maybe do some collaborations, some partnerships? What do you see for the future for yourselves?
We've got it's a really good question. That life cycle, I think we've already had a few goes round the sun with that already. You know, when we first came out, we had a really big spike in the first couple of years. We earned some really good money through advertising revenue, and you kind of maybe fizzle out a little bit. And maybe we reinvented ourselves a little bit in a negative light almost. You maybe try too hard, and then you find your feet again, and you think, actually, no, I've gone wrong there. Let's get back to basics. And I sit here now feeling the best we've ever felt about our videos. I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm not trying to be anyone, which I think I was in the beginning a little bit, trying to be a bit of a character, which didn't always work. I think people can see through that sort of nonsense pretty quickly. You can be a bit of a novelty act. And so right now, I think we're in a good spot, and I just want to, over the next 4 or 5 years, continue walking that path. We're putting a lot more effort into our long form YouTube videos, which is an opportunity to tell a story without having to say something stupid in the first 10 seconds of the video to get someone's attention. You know, I really like the idea of YouTube, but we haven't really done well on YouTube in the past. I think it's there's nowhere to hide on YouTube. And I think I was found out maybe at the beginning for not being as authentic as I possibly could have been in my own self. I wasn't trying to be a certain type of way, but I think I just probably wasn't happy in my own skin and whatever else. But we're in a really good spot now. We're telling a few good stories. We're putting some effort in there. And from the longer form stuff, we're chopping up some shorts, which we're distributing to the other channels. We're feeding it back. We've got a nice model set up. You know, I hope by the end of this year, maybe in the next 18 months, we'll be a 7-figure business, which will be nice. You know, sustainable business. We spend a lot. We travel a lot. We invest a lot back in our product. And it's been tough at points. So that would be nice if we've got some other commercial opportunities on the go with diversifying the portfolio. We've got a sauce company called Slap Sauce, which has been great. It's been absolutely brilliant. And we've got some big news coming on that soon with some supermarkets and some additions to the sauce range. The portfolio is growing, which is great. That's an exclusive, by the way.
Wait, I'm just going to pause that for a second.
Go on.
There we go. Just making a clip moment for that. That's all.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm learning from your expertise, Matt. I'm trying to find clips.
This is what I'm doing as well. Don't worry. So we've got some other business things cooking away in the background. 4 or 5 different conversations in that regard as well, using our audience to build other businesses. Now we've got some half decent attention, and probably for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm on the right path, walking in the right direction. I've got I had some difficulty in my personal life over the last 12 months, and that's kind of corrected itself now. But before that, I think that played a big part in some negativity around how we were operating.
Yeah,
and I didn't know it at the time. I feel like we're on a good path right now. I've got my health and fitness in order. I'm super happy at home. I've got 2 beautiful children. I'm not self-medicating, not necessarily just with substances or anything, just with outside noise. I'm very focused on what we're doing.
It must be difficult, right? Yeah. So when your face is out there, I mean, can you walk down the street without being recognised or someone going, pointing at you going?
Yeah, it happens. It happens every day, and it's beautiful, to be honest. Yes, you get some interesting interactions with people, but 99% of it is really positive. I think it's funny. People usually watch your content on the toilet or in bed with their missus. So you either, I'll watch you when I'm having a poo, or their missus will come up to you, oh God, not you again. I can't get rid of you. I hear your voice every night before we go to sleep. But look, we are a nation of foodies, and I think people like someone who likes their food. It's like if you don't like dogs, it's like, oh, I'm not sure about you. You must be what else is going wrong? Wouldn't trust him with a brush. No. So yeah, the interactions are brilliant. I love meeting people.
Yeah.
I'm a talker myself. I talk to my own shadow. So any sort of interaction I have with people is usually a lot of fun.
Awesome. I mean, I haven't asked you this or even thought about it, but how are you like in the kitchen yourself? Are you fancy yourself as much of a cook as you do an eater?
I'm not great. I've worked in kitchens. That was like a summer job when I was younger. I did a bit of chefing and stuff, and I use the word chefing loosely. Some low level stuff. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But because we eat such a colourful diet out on the road, usually high calorie food, cooking at home is very bland and basic. Actually, we love going out for a roast dinner. We love cooking a roast dinner. But other than that, it's a lot of chicken and rice, pasta, steaks, mince, veg, lots of fruit, porridge, basic stuff. I actually really enjoy just having simple food when I'm at home because I can watch my calories. And my partner is very health and fitness focused as well, so she keeps me away from the chocolate and the biscuits. Although I'll do my best when she's not looking.
So that was my other question. Right? I wasn't quite brave enough to ask it, but I'm gonna now. I mean,
Just the way you ask anything you want.
no, it's just thinking. Right? I'm a bit of a glutton myself, and so you give me a big fat meal, and I'm eating it, and obviously this is your profession, right? So I mean, how do you stay so kind of in shape more than anything? Because obviously you're looking healthy, you look good, and it's like,
Thank you.
how do you eat all that food, all those chicken chops, and all that fried food, and go?
The quick answer is I didn't manage it. I got up to 155, maybe even 160 kilos at one point, and everyone could see it in the comments. I looked like a walking heart attack. I didn't manage it at all. I would eat what I'd have on camera. I'd carry on eating. I'd take it home and I'd eat in the morning. I'd have some chocolate and crisps in the car on the way back home with some Haribo and whatever else. I have some biscuits when I got home, maybe even a pack of biscuits and a pint of milk. Why not? I had no rules. My brain was cooked with it. So I didn't manage it well. And one day I had a bit of an epiphany. I got a blood test and the results were scary. I felt like I was going to explode. I felt really unhealthy. I could have had a stroke or a heart attack at any minute. I just knew it. I could taste it in the air. The way I was feeling, I was like inflamed, like a balloon. So I started walking this journey. That was 3 years ago. I've lost, I think I was 114 kilos today. So that's about 40 kilos, which is about 7 stone, I think I've lost over 3 years.
That's amazing. Well done.
Thank you. It's been comfortably the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a 3-year-old and a 10-week-old little boy, 2 little boys.
Congrats.
Thank you. So I just want to be around for them. You know, that they're the most important thing in my life, and I want to watch them grow into men, and I want them to see me being fit and healthy. And yes, I've got a job where you eat lots of terrible food, but I think you can show that in moderation. It's okay if you eat clean when you're supposed to, and train, walk, get your steps in. So I'm kind of on that journey. You know, I'm still learning myself, to be honest, at the moment.
I don't know, but a pack of biscuits is still a great idea.
I had to stop having a cup of tea. I love a cup of tea in the morning, but I have my tea with 2 sugars or 1.5, you know. But then I got to the point where I was having like 2 biscuits. Now I thought, I'll just have another 2, and it's 4, and then it's 6. And then it's like, now I don't want to have a cup of tea because I know I'm going to have 6 biscuits. It's like, I'm just terrible. So I'm not cured.
Yeah. Listen, the biscuits are my nemesis.
What biscuit? Come on, let's talk biscuits for a second.
Oh, mate. Okay. So what are we talking? We're talking dunking, or we're talking just biscuit on its own, or we're talking biscuit with tea, biscuit with coffee. You think you're an OCD about these things? Don't trigger my expertise on these matters.
The first alarming thing you just said there is that there's people out there that aren't dunking biscuits, is there?
People don't dunk biscuits.
Oh my God, I've dunk everything.
Oh yeah. Is there anything I won't dunk?
Maybe a shortbread. Can't really dunk.
No, dunk a shortbread. I'm shameless.
That's why I don't always like a chocolate covered biscuit, because it doesn't make a good dunker.
Doesn't. However, no, it doesn't. But it does add to the integrity of a digestive because it holds it together. See,
that's a single layer chocolate. That's fine. I'm talking about the fully covered things.
Oh no, the stuff you get in the boxes with the No, you can't dunk those.
Digestive. That's fair game. That's great. I'm talking about fully covered stuff.
Yeah, I think my greatest pleasure is a rich tea. Nothing fancy, rich tea, dunking, but it's the challenge of dunking just enough so it doesn't drop, right? And even if it does drop, the rescue missions with the next biscuit.
What are you dunking into?
Big cup of tea more than anything.
Cup of tea, yeah.
Yeah. big cup.
The rich tea is a fantastic dunker in milk. I love milk to drink. Rich tea is good in milk, but it's also fantastic in tea. And a lot of people think the more moving parts to a biscuit, the better it is. I'm in your camp. Rich tea, plain digestive.
Yeah.
I think they're fantastic. The classics. Malted milk.
Oh, that's one of my pet peeves. Is I'm not a big dairy fan, so milks, creams are great on. So that's where you lost me a little bit, Matt.
It's all right. Fruit tea is a good biscuit as well. Fruit shorty is a classic.
It is. I would have that dry though, as opposed to dunking it.
That is a good dry biscuit, actually. Yeah, that is a good dry biscuit. I'm not a fan of hobnobs. They're too difficult. It's just they're so abrasive. It takes too long.
They do kind of carve up the inside of your mouth a little bit, don't they?
Every now and again, one or two is fine, but it's just too much. I want to. It's just not right for me. It's too.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. I think the limit on the hobnobs is about 3 or 4 really before.
A bit cultural for me. I think a chocolate digestive or a rich tea or a malted milk. Right. They're the ones.
There we go. So I think we found some unique content. Biscuits. All right. Quick fire round, Matt. I'm conscious of your time. I don't want to keep you too long.
I've got as much time as you want. Don't worry.
No, it's okay. Right. Okay. So, right. Some quick fire questions. Right. You've obviously travelled the UK. You've kind of sampled the food scene across the UK. If I said, Matt, the rest of your days with your family, there's only one region in this country where you would have to live based on food, where would it be?
Birmingham.
So I didn't even have to prompt you for that or lead you that way. There we go. Thank you very much, Matt. You know your audience.
Birmingham is an amazing spot.
Go on, tell me why.
I think you're such, number one, I'm not just sucking up to you. I think you're incredible people. You're a lot of fun. You've got a really diverse cultural balance in and around you. It's a big city as well. You've got different pockets and different regions that do things very, very differently, and also region specific stuff. Like you've got the battered chips over in the Black Country way. You've got some interesting stuff like the Desi pubs, which I think pound for pound are one of the best places you can go and get a good feed anywhere. That Desi pub grill whole situation you've got going over there, I think is amazing. Good quality food.
It's an interesting story, the Desi pubs, right? So I think the first place I remember actually was 2. So I think the one in West Brom, the Vine was probably the original. Yeah. When it came to selling that a bit, I think it wasn't quite the same as it is today in terms of mixed grill, but there's the Farcroft pub on Woodbury Road, which isn't there anymore. But I remember my dad, who's talking like late 90s now, he'd go and grab it wasn't quite the same as a mixed grill, but it was effectively the same, grilled meats, blah blah blah, with some vegetables. But now I'm just a bit of a contrarian. I just kind of they all taste pretty same, and so I get a bit frustrated with them. But it's one of those, right? It's the same sort of thing when it comes to food trends. That you get those trends, and something will take off, whether it's the smash burgers are taking off, or the Desi grills will take off, or it'll be fish and chips another time. But yeah,
and the Birmingham Balti as well.
Oh, sorry, yep, back earlier than that, Dalton.
If anyone wants to try the best curry you've ever had in your life, go and get a proper Birmingham Balti. You can go to any curry house in the country and they'll say, oh, I've got a Balti on the menu. Unless it actually, you'll know this, unless it actually comes out in the Balti dish, which is the Balti, it should be cooked in the Balti dish, which gives it a whole nother level to it, because you've got, I actually think from a nutritional standpoint that a Balti has got more iron in it than a pint of Guinness. Like apparently it's crazy because you get that mineral from the cooking process.
Yeah,
you do. They've done tests on it. Because the flames are whipping around the side of the Balti dish. You get like a curry almost crust at the top. It's deep in the middle. The flavour is insane. With a naan bread, I think a Birmingham lamb or chicken Balti, I think, is absolutely fantastic. That's a proper Balti when it's cooked in the actual dish on the fire.
Awesome. Well, we're taking a clip of that last few minutes and we're sending that to the Birmingham Tourist Board.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so I did want to just do something boring, like what's your death row diner meal? But in a couple of situations, all right, what's your go-to meal? So cold winter evening on a Sunday when it's miserable and wet outside, what are you going with?
Roast dinner all day long. I think roast dinner on a Sunday. I love a roast dinner. I think it's a very spiritual, happy place for me. It's a great plate of food. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I think it's the best.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, so you're on a holiday. You spent all day in the pool with the kids, going for a snack, burnt loads of calories off. What do you want on the pool side?
Holiday specific. The only thing to order is the club sandwich.
Yeah.
The toasted club sandwich. And if you go to nice hotels, we've got some really, really good club sandwiches. And I think, they put a skewer through it. They serve them in triangles like a cricket tee. You're off. Loads of little sort of holiday tapas like that. But the main focus, the main hub of any holiday food has got to be the club sandwich.
Yep. I'll tick that one off for you as well. Okay. So obviously I hope this one never happens. But from a situation, a month in hospital, dealing with hospital food, and what's the one food that you want when you come home?
Well, I've had this situation actually. When COVID happened, I got COVID and got locked in my hotel room in Dubai. So I was isolating for 15 days by myself. The family went home and left me. It was dreadful. The one thing I could not get out of my brain, and which I actually ordered 5 days before I landed, was my dad's missus, my stepmom. She makes a lamb neck stew with dumplings, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I think I found that was my taste of home. So that is my answer. It's a lamb neck stew. And anyone that hasn't had lamb neck before, it is the most beautiful part of the lamb. The lamb. It falls off the bone when you cook it right. You can cook it on a barbecue, cook it in a stew. You get the neck bones in there, the vertebrae, and it gets all that fluid comes out of it, all that flavor from the cartilage. It's beautiful. Lots of fat in there, lots of meat. It's soft, it's delicious. Carrots, leeks, potatoes, some dumplings if you can. That'll cure cancer.
Right, I'll have to try that one. Okay, just in closing then, Matt. Obviously very successful content creator, even obviously hoping to build on that success. What advice would you give to kind of younger influencers or other influencers in your space or in a different space altogether, but interested in creating content and trying to make a business of it or make a hobby out of it?
My advice would be to pick something that you are really truly passionate about, not something that you see that's popular. Because you can't go wrong if you do that, and do yourself some justice and work hard. I think a lot of people in this day and age are a little bit soft, and people have lost the ability to get their teeth stuck into anything and really work hard over a long period of time. That patience, that work ethic was instilled into me, and I think I'm glad that I found it. If you could work hard at anything, it's great. But if you can work hard at something that you're truly passionate about and you enjoy, then you're set. Whether it's a win or a loss, you're having fun anyway. So that's the best thing I would say. I think there's a lot of people that just see other influencers that they want to be like or that they admire, and that's fine, doing something, and they think, I want to do that. And they don't really like it, or that's not what they're truly passionate about, because they might have a fear of being judged, or say it's food, but they really like horses or gardening or whatever it might be. They just want to be a foodie because it's topical or cool. And yes, they like food. Who doesn't? Everyone does. But following your true passion relentlessly, I've got relentless tattooed on my arm here. It's like my motto: be relentless at anything you want to do and achieve. And I think it's the biggest secret superpower there is, and working hard isn't the only key to success. That's obvious. Like if it was only hard work, then the donkey would own the farm, right? And it doesn't. You've got to be able to think and analyze and look at your numbers and plan and strategize, of course, but hard work goes a long way,
Terrific advice, Matt. Couldn't agree more. Okay, awesome. And if there's anyone, obviously you mentioned that you kind of branched out a little bit. If there's any one of our listeners, or whether they're food businesses or want to kind of reach out to you and kind of work with you a little bit, what's the best way to reach you or even follow your content?
So we're at Food Review Club on all platforms. Send us a DM if you've got any commercial opportunities for us. My management email is in our bio on Instagram. They're pretty great. But yeah, we'd love to talk to anyone that wants to work with us. We've got a good platform. We get 1 million views a day at the moment, which is great. So Yeah, we're
Awesome.
pretty proud of that.
Well,
So.
well, I'm not sure I need to give you any more traffic, but the couple of people who do listen to this podcast, maybe I'll add all the descriptions and the links to the bottom of the podcast, and we'll hopefully drive a couple of people your way.
How many episodes have you done now?
I think this is around about 30 or something, I believe.
It's incredible.
I've lost count.
But yeah, are you enjoying it?
Yes, I like the process more than anything. So I enjoy reaching out. I'm very gracious to the people who kind of just say yes, and without asking what they can get out of it and making demands or anything like that. Because I'm very conscious of.
Has anyone made demands yet? That's incredible.
No, I think because I've interviewed a lot of academics simply because I'm interested in kind of the tech scene. So, and
Right.
I try to focus on Birmingham issues and stuff around the West Midlands. So I found a professor or two on a particular topic, who were kind of at one of the Birmingham universities, and from there you kind of reach out to the next one, and they're all very generous with the time, and they're all like, yeah, great. Some are a little bit more sensitive about what they cover, and they kind of bite their tongue a little bit, especially when we talk about kind of current affairs issues, which I can understand, and it's fine in this day and age. But generally speaking, everybody I ask just kind of go, yeah, fine.
Well,
let me know.
Thinking from a personal standpoint, the fact you even wanted to talk to me was an absolute pleasure. So I'm really chuffed that you wanted to sit down and listen to what I had to say today. So thank you for asking me, and I think some of your questions were great. This has felt awesome. You're a good guy, and I wish you all the love and success for the podcast moving forward.
If you weren't a couple of hundred miles away, Matt, I'd go and give you a hug, mate. But I'll tell you what, we'll arrange a cup of tea and a selection of biscuits.
I'll bring out biscuits. You bring the tea.
All right, awesome. Matt, Boo Club, thank you very much for coming on the DME podcast.
Thank you very much.